You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Let's go beyond the box score with Jackie Ray. Good evening, Jackie Ray. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. The Olympics are more than halfway over, and we are having some controversies, more controversies than protests. One of the controversies, I have to correct myself. I wrongly believed that one of the female boxers was trans last week. Why? Because published reports said that Amani Khalif was trans. She's not trans. She is biologically a woman. She's lived her life gender as a woman. But that's not the only person. There's also the Taiwanese Olympic boxer Lin Yuting of Taiwan, who's facing similar scrutiny. How do we navigate this moment in terms of fairness of sports and also accurate reporting and not bullying these athletes as Imani Khalif has brought to our attention?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I believed Imani was a trans woman as well. And in all fairness, I think the world that we're living in right now, I think a lot of it is we're trying to be politically correct and identify people the way that they see themselves versus who they really are. So it gets muddy. So this is going to happen a few more times because I think sometimes we want to protect people's feelings. But in this case, flat out wrong. And it was very easy in her case to go back and see this is definitely a girl. If you go back far enough, it's very easy to see pictures and you can kind of tell when puberty hit because the growth spurt hit. Yes. And then that's when the transformation happened. And so while I definitely want to say the same thing, I definitely apologize for thinking that this was a man, a biological man, and it was in fact a woman. It doesn't change my opinion on what we need to do moving forward, because at the end of the day, yes, this is a biological female, but this is a biological woman that has more testosterone in her body, which is why they're not disclosing what kind of test they took, but apparently there was more testosterone is what it's coming down to. Now with the Chinese fighter, I don't know, and so I'm not going to say whether this is a biological woman or not, but because I did a lot of digging on her specifically, or from Taiwan, excuse me. So I don't know, because it was very difficult to say for sure that this was someone who was born a woman. But it's still, either way, doesn't change my point. At the end of the day, we live in a world where whether you're talking about intersex, where you're talking about someone who was born a man and decides to live their life as a woman, it's not fair for these people to fight with biological women because we're talking about strength. There is an advantage that you have, whether people want to admit it or not. And I think it's especially in the world of sports. Now, when you're talking about like the rest of the world and when bathrooms and how we see people, okay, that's a whole nother topic. But in sports, it's incredibly easy. We differentiate people by age. We differentiate people by weight class, by height, all these kinds of things that we have in sports where we differentiate, and we do that to make things safe. So if the waters are getting muddy, and you're having women say, I've never been hit that hard in my life, and they are a professional boxer. Okay, this is a very easy fix. We can change classes. We can literally add 2 more classes. If you have this much testosterone in your body, whether you're a biological woman or a trans woman, you fight in this class. It is a very easy fix.
It's a very easy fix, but then are you then, and this is somewhat rhetorical, but are you then punishing the 2 outliers in this case who did nothing wrong? They've lived their whole lives as women. They are biologically female, testosterone test aside. And you're going to say, okay, you 2 individual athletes have to compete over here, which means there probably won't be enough for a weight class or a sport. And they are then stricken from the opportunity to compete for a medal in a particular sport. How do you go about that? Because we're only talking about 1 in a million, it seems.
Well, we're talking about 1 in a million right now. But the actuality of it is we're going to see more trans women in the near future. So I'm not talking about excluding these 2 people. I'm saying if they have more testosterone, the thing is like, and this is what I think frustrates a lot of biological women, because we have this conversation a lot. We're talking about, is it fair to them? Is it fair to them? Is it fair to me as a biological woman who decides they want to be a boxer to fight a woman, biological or not, who has more testosterone, thereby more of an advantage than I do? I'm going to emphatically say the answer is no to that. So I don't think it's a punishment to them. I think you open it up to more people. We're not just talking about women who have more testosterone in their system. We're also talking about transgender women who want to compete. And then when you talk about it like that, it opens it up. But you can't say, hey, if you do it this way, you're going to punish these two people. If you're saying, hey, all of you who are naturally born this way, we're not going to make any accommodations for you. You can't do that.
All right, let me make a bad argument, an insincere argument, but it's one I've heard, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Well, this is something which occurred naturally. They're not taking supplements. They didn't have any surgery performed. How is that different from the person who's just taller and has a genetic advantage in basketball? How is that different from the person who just has muscle twitch fibers and they can run faster? How is that different? Yes, in boxing, there's a physical component, but what about the other sports where natural genetic advantage is emphasized?
So, and I think that's an easy argument, because in that case, when you're talking about boxing, then what's the difference between a featherweight and a lightweight? You know what I mean? So there's reasons why we have.
No, I'm conceding as far as weight classes, right. But what about the swimmer? In other words, if these athletes went into other sports, would that argument still hold for you? Swimming or something?
Right. So swimming, yes, because we've seen that. We've seen that was a whole man. I'm not even going to say a transgender woman, because that was a biological man in all aspects of the word. And we know that he still had his biology attached. So yes, that's an advantage. And that was, I think, that was taking advantage of a system that hasn't figured this out yet. I think that's what that was. Mm-hmm. But we see Brittany Griner. And if you talk to Brittany Griner will tell you she's been pretty masculine her whole entire life. She doesn't have an epic advantage. She does have, her height gives her a great advantage. In basketball, height is always going to be a great advantage. But you'll have teams that figure out how to shut her down because she's still a basketball player in that sense. I don't think she would do well with the men because she's still a woman. So I think it has to go sport by sport. It can't be a blanket policy, because the sports are different. So I definitely think it has to go sport by sport.
Okay, sport by sport, not necessarily just a unifying blanket rule that fits all.
Right.
Because one size is not going to fit all here.
Brittany's not hitting anybody in the face in the WNBA. You know, so no, when you're talking about that, it has to go sport by sport. And it's difficult for me to understand how people don't see that. But we're not a blanket people, so we can't have blanket policies.
I like that. I'm going to remember that. We're not a blanket people, so we can't have blanket policies. When we come back, we don't have to. I'm choosing to. We're going to get into this story about the pole vaulter who was kicked out of the Olympics because of his pole. Can I say that? I just did. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. KFI AM 640, Mo Kelly here, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And by now you had to have seen the story. I don't know. I've had some friends who've taken a screenshot of it, pulled some video. The pole vaulter, who unfortunately was, eliminated from competition because as he was pole vaulting, his extremity blocked his pass over the pole and knocked the bar off. All jokes aside, if any part of your body knocks off the crossbar, then you are eliminated. You've seen the story. I've never seen anything like this in sports before in my life. And with 4K TVs and slow motion and instant replay, media and social media have had way too much fun with this. What did you think of the moment?
I was one of those people who had fun with it because I didn't see it when it happened. I, of course, immediately saw all the tweets and things of that nature. And so then I went back and my first reaction was, from France? No way. And so I had to go.
Oh, that's messed up.
And so I had to go and I had to look at it because I have seen, now this has been at the high school level when I was in school, but I have seen guys do the pole vault and the bar come down wrong and it hit them in that area. So I just assumed that it was a cup. I didn't think that it was a natural kind of thing. And so then when I went and I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I don't even have an explanation for this. And my favorite tweet that I saw about this said, "This is why the pole vaulting competition should happen in the winter."
But you have to think about the irony of it happening in the Olympics. The sport itself, pole vaulting. Never mind. It just when you
the
think
nature of it was funny to me too.
When you think that you've lived long enough to have seen everything, and you realize you haven't seen everything, I was in disbelief, but I was laughing out loud because
so hard.
The television coverage, they showed it again and again and again, this angle and that angle and slow motion. Right.
The slow motion one, I was like, oh my God, y'all did not have to. The first thing that I thought was, medal or no, this man is forever a legend now.
And I have to think, okay, was it really a bad thing that it happened to him? I'm not so sure that it did. I mean, no. I didn't say his name, but what's his name? Anthony Amirati from France. He's going to get something good to come out of this.
Yes, he's going to get some kind of endorsement for
something.
Yes. Something is going to happen. But, even the way he handled it, he was like, he kind of laughed about it. And then France immediately said, "We love you. We're so proud of you." And I'm like, I bet you are. I bet you are. But for me, I was just like, it's got to be one of those things that if it happened, you can't do anything but laugh, because it was a great pole vault. Like, you saw it, he cleared it. His form was perfect. Pole vault and the high jump are two of my favorite sports. So I watch those all the time. I didn't see this one live, so to not see it live was kind of funny, but his form was great. He nailed it, and then he didn't. And so,
and I don't think he could have done that if he tried.
No.
If he did it 100 times trying to, I don't think he could have.
And he even said, he was like, I'm usually pretty nervous before I pole vault. And this was the first time that I was like, no, I got this. I felt calm. As soon as I cleared the bar, I was like, yes. And then I didn't clear it. And so everything went right until it went wrong. There was nothing. He could do it 1,000,000 times over. It would never happen that way again.
I wonder, what is the story that he will tell his eventual children and grandchildren when they use whatever the internet will be like in 20, 40 years, and they look him up and realize, like, "Granddaddy, that was you?"
Yeah.
I mean, how do you tell that story?
I think if he has a son, it's a great story. If he has a daughter, it's like, "Oh God, Dad, ew."
Right. There have been moments in Olympic history, and there have been moments in Olympic history. This is probably the latter. Something, before I close this conversation with you, something that we've not experienced, even though I've expected to experience it, only on a small level. Have you seen the world's issues, specifically in the Middle East, play out in this Olympic competition? There have been some remarks. There have been some refused handshakes, but no major demonstration as of yet. Has that surprised you?
Completely shocked about that. That was one of, aside from, wanting to see Sha'Carri, and she didn't get the gold, but she got the silver. I'm still very proud of her. And aside from really being dialed into the track and field, and obviously the men's and women's basketball, because that's my thing. But that's why I was tuning in religiously, because I just wanted to see something. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to see something where it's like, okay, we're going to have to pause for a moment because this is happening. I expected athletes to be more vocal. I expected something, even fans in the stands, even if they're simply just wearing something in support of Palestine. I expected to see something. I'm shocked. Completely shocked and bewildered. I think there's been more protest in Chicago here in the United States than there has been in Paris. So I am definitely shocked by that, and almost, to be honest, disappointed, because I do think what's happening in Gaza is completely tragic. And I think that you do take this fight to the world stage. And so I'm a little disappointed but you know what? It could come down to something as simple as money. If you're talking about traveling to Paris, yeah. Who has all of that? And then you have to stay. How long are you going to stay? Hotel accommodations. And if you're talking about a big group of people, so it could come down to something that simple. It could be that it just wasn't financially possible for a lot of people. And now in our economy, if Americans want to go over there, can you really take that time off of work? Because everything is super expensive over here. Do you have it like that? So it could be just a financial burden that prevented the protests from happening over there.
Last thought. The impact of Snoop Dogg has been what?
Epic. There's nothing Snoop Dogg can't do at this point. He is I think that every entertainer in this business should really look at Snoop Dogg. This man, we talk about people have transformed themselves. Snoop hasn't really transformed himself. He's been himself at different times of his life. He's just evolved and said, okay, maybe I'm not going to be sipping on gin and juice as much. Still going to smoke weed. Maybe I'll do that with Martha Stewart. And then he, by his own admission, he allowed Martha Stewart to mentor him and to say, hey, you've got to see yourself in some of these spaces that you might not have considered yourself in these spaces before. And so he has really had this mindset of just let me be open to all possibilities, and they are just flowing. So if you believe in that whole manifestation thing, Snoop Dogg is an example of that. He is open to whatever the universe brings him, and he nails it every time.
He has been the best part of the coverage. And I
Seeing
didn't know.
him in the gymnastics?
No, for me it was equestrian when he was in his equestrian getup. But, we could do this all night. I got to run. But Jackie Ray, thank you for giving me your insight and also your expertise on all things sports and society. We'll do it again next week.
See you next week.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI Mo Kelly, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And this is what each zodiac sign should know about this coming week. And this is according to a tarot card reader. I don't know nothing about tarot cards. Maybe Mark does. I don't.
No, I have a James Bond tarot card set from Live and Let Die. That's all I know.
Yeah, I'm just reading this. I have no idea. Maybe Tuala knows. Maybe Stefan knows. But I definitely don't know. So if you're going to get mad at them. Aries, your card is Two of Wands. Means nothing to me. And the most compatible zodiac sign of the week, another Aries. Aries, the tarot card for you this week is the Two of Wands. It urges you to be more aware of your plans and not rely on winging it every time. Sometimes spending just an hour thinking about what may happen can show you potential problem areas that you can find solutions for beforehand. You will be surprised at your own ingenuity. Plus, this could lead to new inspiration too. If you feel called to, meditate more this week to help you stay grounded and calm.
Two of Wands.
All right. Taurus, your card is Three of Swords, and your most compatible zodiac sign is Leo. Taurus, the tarot card, Three of Swords, it's not the best card to get, but here it's highlighting the need to lean into your wounds and pain so you can purge it from your system. True healing awaits you if you are brave. If you feel the need, contact a professional to guide you through this, but you can use a workbook to journal and heal too, if that's a more affordable option for you at this time. Trust your heart. Only good things await you on the other side.
Three of Swords. Yes.
This is like Greek to me. Gemini, your most compatible zodiac sign of the week is Virgo. And your card is Five of Pentacles.
Yes, Mark.
What?
Yes, Mark. Five of Pentacles.
What does that mean?
I have no idea, but
Let's go.
It's unsettling.
Gemini, this time has come for you to make a choice, whether to stay exactly where you are and continue the habits that have not helped you in the past, or try something new and revolutionize your life and intentions. The Five of Pentacles can often reveal spiritual despondency and a literal lack of finances, but it also urges you to go where you can grow instead of staying in the cold out of fear or trauma bonding. Journaling can help you gain clarity.
Again with the journaling.
Yes, Mark.
If you could just write me a check, I think that'd solve everything.
Okay, so you don't mind journaling so long as there's a check attached to it.
Well, from you specifically, please.
I got to pay out my own pocket?
Yeah, but
I can't enlist a third party?
Well, we're invoking host privilege again.
Okay, got it. Well, if you're invoking it, how is it me invoking it?
Please don't ask any further questions.
Mark, just embrace your pentacles. Embrace your pentacles.
Stay away from my pentacles, Tuala.
It sounds something really dirty about that.
Ow, my pentacles.
Cancer, that's apropos. The most compatible zodiac sign, Capricorn. And the tarot card for you this week, Cancer, is the Seven of Cups. It speaks of possibilities and opportunities, but not all can be sought out at once. So which path will you choose? Whether this is in love or other areas of life, you are urged to look beyond the surface to truly understand what is on offer. Sometimes what may appear to be a beautiful moon may turn out to be a white snake. Yeah, because I always get those two mixed up. If you feel called to, go slow and take your time with what is before you. You don't need to decide at once, but you must not sabotage yourself from considering all the options available to you.
Okay, that actually is pretty scarily accurate.
Oh,
right on.
Last weekend.
So how are your pentacles doing?
No, he's got 7 cups.
I just want to make sure. Okay, if the 7 cups are okay, are you putting the pentacles in the cups?
Someone needs to see a urologist.
Leo, your compatible zodiac sign is Pisces, and your card is Death.
The death card. But that can also be life.
Whatever. It speaks of transitions from one chapter to another where it's best to leave the past behind in the past. But sometimes it speaks of death and moving into the beyond. You know what this card means for you because major arcana cards are rarely subtle, and death is not one of the subtle ones. If you feel called to meditate on a picture of the death card, you can pull it from the internet. Or if you have a tarot deck, pull out the death card and then focus on it for a little while before meditating. The answers you seek will come to you. Mm-hmm. Virgo, your most compatible zodiac sign of the week, Cancer. And your card is the moon. Yes, that's your tarot card for you this week. It speaks of charm and inspiration born on hazy nights. At least that's how it's coming across for you now. So tune into your creative side and your inner wisdom. You will find all the answers you seek there. Be prepared for unconventional words and ideas. They may push you out of your comfort zone or reveal something you lack that must be filled through seeking growth and or knowledge. Mark, journaling is a great exercise whenever the moon comes out for someone.
Did the person who write this, are they in the pocket of Big Journal?
It makes it easier to grasp the symbols and make head or tail of them. Libra, your compatible zodiac sign is Aries, and your card is the Sun. It speaks of glorious days ahead and the brilliance of cosmic blessings shining upon you. So seize the day. Trust yourself. You can transform your life and reach the heights of success if only you allow yourself to shine. Confidence is your friend. Self-sabotage, well, it's never a friend, is it? You will do well if you can ground yourself, as that will enable you to tune into your blessings and utilize them in a way that works best for you.
The Sun. Yes.
Scorpio, here we go,
Let's
Tuala.
go.
Your compatible zodiac sign of the week is Leo. Your card is Justice.
Swift justice.
Prepare for drama and flashbacks. This week will rip a vortex in your social environment and bring karmic retribution wherever it's necessary. Mm-hmm. That's the Justice Tarot card for you. Mm-hmm. You must steer clear of underhanded tactics too, because justice governs everyone equally. And this is not human justice, but the cosmic kind. Wearing a clear quartz pendant can help you stay clear-headed and mindful. You can watch the drama or get dragged into its undertow.
No journaling for this one?
No, clear pendants.
Nope.
Clear pendants to steer me clear of doing wrong and mete out justice.
Okay, Sagittarius, it's me. My compatible zodiac sign of the week is Leo. I have no idea who's a Leo in my life. And my card is 5 of Wands.
That makes sense.
Sagittarius, the time has come for you to make up your mind. Will you stand by your dreams and wishes, or will you let others dictate to you and tell you what is right or wrong, even if it doesn't resonate with you inside? The 5 of Wands speaks of challenges brought by competitors and the need to rise to the competition and not throw in the towel. Sometimes trying to convince someone away from their path is the easiest way for a competitor to win. So don't fall for anything that does not ring true with you. In other words, I rebuke thee, Mark Ronner. You are not going to change my mind. You are not going to take me off my path.
Don't you wave your 5 wands at me, buddy boy.
It's the one in the middle you got to worry about.
Keep that to yourself, too.
Thank you very much.
And don't go pole vaulting with it.
2 shows nightly. Capricorn. Your card is 7 of Swords. Your compatible zodiac sign of the week is Leo. Leo is compatible with everyone, it seems. Mm-hmm. The 7 of Swords has a cautionary message for you about someone or a few people in your social circle who may not have your best interests at heart. Listen for the lies and read between what's being said. Some people choose to harm the one they hate by becoming a Trojan horse in their life and pretending to be a friend. They're talking about you, Mark. Have you accidentally allowed a Trojan horse to run rampant in yours? Question mark. I am Ron Burgundy.
There's nothing wrong with a Trojan horse.
Aquarius, your most compatible sign, another Aquarius. Card, 10 of Swords. It's blaring alarm bells here, so pay attention. You can either shoulder all the burdens and let them crush you to oblivion, or recognize that you are being harmed and take swift action. Never blame yourself for the cunning of others, even if they went out of their way to create havoc in your life or corner you in a bad space. You must not give in to the victim-blaming narrative spouted by abusers and their abusive friends. Trust yourself and the red flags you observe. And lastly, Pisces. Say it with me. The most compatible zodiac sign of the week is Leo. And the card is Page of Wands. It urges you to unleash your creativity, even if the end result leaves you feeling like you have no talent. Ooh, ouch. Practice is the key to creative evolution from novice to master. Plus, you never know what you may encounter on such creative adventures. It may reveal facets of yourself to you that you did not know before. So trust the process and stay colorful. How do you stay colorful?
Little journaling goes a long way.
I'm sure, but it didn't say that.
Stay bright, stay cheery, colorful disposition.
Okay, the takeaway this week is find yourself a Leo.
Clearly.
I know some Leos. Leos are good people.
Okay, when is their birthday? When is Leo?
I think, aren't we?
Isn't it July?
It's right now, I think.
Yeah,
it is?
I think right now is the era of Leo.
All right.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I guess that would make sense. All right.
I know the homegirl Yo-Yo, her birthday just happened.
How's Yolanda doing?
She's good. Fantastic.
All right, you got to tell her to come by the studio so we can talk to her on air.
I will do that.
I'm being serious.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Don't try to play me out.
I see what
Only if you know,
there.
you know. It's later with Mo Kelly. Oh, yes, I have not forgotten about your chance to win some Australian Pink Floyd tickets. And I said it would be this hour, so I guess that means it's coming up next, right? It probably is.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Earlier, I was telling you about Australian Pink Floyd, and I will tell you now once again. They've sold over 5 million tickets to concerts taking place in 35 different countries. The Australian Pink Floyd show is rightfully hailed as one of the most in-demand touring entities in the world. It sounds just like you're listening to the Pink Floyd. And it's not just me who's saying it. The Times newspaper in London described them as the gold standard. The act is so good they were even hired by David Gilmour himself to perform at his 50th birthday celebration. The Australian Pink Floyd show is like none other. In fact, they're coming to LA on August 14th. That's next week at the Orpheum Theater. And we'll be giving away not one, but 2 pairs of tickets each night this week. Now, you can get the tickets at Ticketmaster.com. They are available. They are on sale. And the show will be sold out if it is not already. But our friends over at the Orpheum and our friends at Australian Pink Floyd said, hey, Later with Mo Kelly, we know you love to give away tickets to great events. So why don't you make sure that you give away 2 pairs every night this week? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to give away 2 pairs right now, but it's going to be to caller number 7 and 9. Caller 7 and 9, you and a guest will be going to see Australian Pink Floyd at the Orpheum Theater next week here in Los Angeles. And I have not seen them perform live before, but everyone that I've talked to and everything that I've seen of them has been fantastic. If you are a Pink Floyd fan, it is almost indistinguishable between their music and the original band's music. Caller number 7, caller number 9. Damn, the phones just exploded. Stefan, they just exploded.
Like, legit, because I have it up on my screen, and it went from like, waiting around, and boom. Like fireworks.
Caller number 7, caller number 9. We're giving away 2 pairs of tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd at the Orpheum Theater here in LA on the 14th, which is next week. These tickets are hotter than fish grease. And we're going to be giving away 2 pairs tonight, 2 pairs tomorrow night, 2 pairs Wednesday night, 2 pairs on Thursday night. And Stefan, what are we going to do on Friday night?
2 more pairs.
There we go. We're going to be giving away 2 pairs each and every night this whole week. Caller number 7, caller number 9, you'll be getting the first 2 pairs tonight. And Stefan, you can appreciate this because you're a music fan. When I was growing up, before I understood radio station formats, I just listened to radio stations. I couldn't tell you what a rock station was. I couldn't tell you what an R&B station was. I just remember the first radio I got when I was about maybe 5 or 6 years old, and it was an AM FM radio, and I just started spinning the dial until I heard something I liked. And I remember I first fell in love with Pink Floyd back in the day. I can't tell you if the song The Wall had just come out or not, but that was the song on the radio. I had no sense of it's a new song or it's an old song. You know, it could have been what they call like a recurrent, and they were just playing it. I can't remember what year it was, but I remember some of my earliest memories of enjoying music included Pink Floyd. And it had nothing to do with it being rock or whatever. It was a very cool song. And I remember my sister and I, we would sing it in the bedroom together, you know, because it was very cool. Like, hey, teacher, leave them kids alone. We really got into those lyrics. Could we understand all the subtext? No. But, you know, good music is timeless, and it transcends demographics. It transcends eras. And you can see Australian Pink Floyd is keeping that legend alive. So caller number 7, caller number 9, you each will be winning a pair of tickets to see Australian Pink Floyd at the Orpheum Theater next week on August 14th. And if you did not win tonight, we will make sure you have another chance tomorrow, and then Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
More informing, more engaging, more stimulating. KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.